Hi there, Diane Evans here with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator. So this is one of your first times joining me on my YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you have. And also make sure that you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And by clicking the button below or the bell below, you will get notified every time or immediately as soon as I upload a new video. So today what I'm going to show you is we're going to do a sketch. Now, this is a sketch that's been specifically designed for our casually creating blog hop. And you can see this is not like one of my normal card sketches. It's no measurements. It's led to your own interpretation. But when I say casually, and this is specifically sent for casual stampers. Casual stampers are, you could be an excellent stamper, but what it means by casual is that you may not have things like the big shot or the cut and emboss machine. You may not have some of the fancy dancy tools, but you know what? You don't need those tools to make a beautiful card. So I'm using this sketch. Now this sketch is a little bit more widened up, and this is because this sketch came from the metric area of the world that uses metric. So I'm going to show you a bit of an interpretation how I've done it, use this sketch. But I've used a few stamp sets just because I couldn't get exactly what I wanted. So I've used, this is a hostess set. I'm a dragonfly lover, and this damselfly just screams out to me. I haven't used this circle celebration stamp set, and trust me, I know I can do some amazing things with this as well. And then, you know, it doesn't really matter what I used on the other ones. I just wanted a sentiment. So you could use any of these ones, but there's no sentiments on these stamp sets. So I had to reach out to another stamp set. Having a sentiment stamp set is always amazing to find certain things. There's certain verses that you like, they're amazing. But let me give you a tease. There's some beautiful sentiment stamp sets that are coming out in the new annual catalog. All right, so just to show you how easy it is to make a card and from a card sketch, you can see that, like I say, that this is widened, but this is like metric. I'm going to show you an imperial. So I have a bit of a card base here, 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. I always fold into the mountain, and being a casual stamper, you may not have heard that, but when you fold in, and no matter what kind of a tool you use, whether you have you use your scoring tool, or whether or not if you use your paper trimmer, it doesn't matter. But as long as when you do have a bit of a mountain there, you want to fold into that, and it's so important that you do, because that gives you the even edge right here. So I use a bone folder to make sure I've got that good and creased. This is a staple. Everybody needs a bone folder when you're designing cards and doing cards. Okay, so I've taken a piece. This is just designer series paper, and I'm just going to use this here. This is going to kind of give me this look that's here on the page. I probably could have gone a little bit longer on it. It would have looked a little bit better. But this works with this card. So I'm just going to actually just put that back onto my cardstock. Now you notice I'm using seal, which is an adhesive. And this seal is excellent. It's such a strong adhesive. But you notice that what I did was when I took it like this, I did it and I rolled it back. And the reason being for that is then this sticky part here, when I go to put it down, it's ready to stick on there again. So I'm just going to layer this onto this card piece here. By the way, this is Misty Moonlight cardstock. And we're just going to layer it on there. And then I've got my piece of basic white. Now this is where I'm going to be doing my stamping on here. This is down in the corner, but it's like I say, it's elongated. So I've taken the choice where I'm actually going to stamp it further into the middle. So I have this stamp set here, and it kind of looks like a moon. It's a really, really neat type stamp set. And I'm going to come in with my balmy blue. And we'll just open that up. And I'm going to ink it up really good. And I'm using, as you can see right below here, a paper piercing mat. Now this paper piercing mat is great for photopolymer stamp sets. And the reason being is because there's no cushion. Because when you take a clear mount, or we call a rubber-based mount, you see there's a bit of cushioning there. With this here, there's no cushioning. So that's why we're using this mat to cushion that. So I'm just going to ink this up. We don't want to push down into the stamp. We want to make it so that it's not going to have a halo all the way around on the stamp pad. So I'm actually just going to put that, about there. All right. And that's giving me this look, just like that. And it's so pretty on its own. And can you see all the different things that you could do with different designs on there? I can't wait to start using that again. That's in our J to J mini catalog. Now, like I say, I'm using this sweet sampler. Now, this is part of a hostess set that you can only get if you host a party, or if you're a demonstrator, you can get it as well. All right, so let's go. And I'm going to take this damselfly, and I'm using my Misty Moonlight. Now, this is a rubber stamp. All you want to do is tap, tap, tap. Check your stamp to make sure that you've got it all stamped. You want it all in those areas. And you don't want any of those halo lines around there. So now I'm going to take this. Now you notice I removed that paper piercing mat. A lot of times you can get more halos with the paper piercing mat when you use a clear mount stamp. So I'm just going to go put this, let's see, I'm going to put this up about here. And now what I need, and as you can see, I'm kind of getting, I guess I could have gone down a little bit lower. Now I'm striving for this particular thing. So I'm letting my imagination go, and I am going in and I'm using that as a sentiment. Casual stampers do not, or normally do not have, like I say, the cut and emboss machine. So you could use punches, but I also designate when I see circles and that sort of thing on a card sketch, I do say, oh, that could be an image. So what I'm doing for this part down here is I'm going to use a sentiment. And the sentiment I'm using is wishing you all the best. So we're just going to go light tap, make sure that we have no halos. And then I'm going to put that down about here. There we go. And see, there I have my card sketch. Pretty simple how that works. And I just go ahead and do it there. But we are casual stampers, so of course we can go and we can embellish. We can do a bunch of those different sort of things. So I have this twine, and it has the Misty Moonlight in it. It's got some white in it, and it's also got some silver. So I'm just going to actually wrap that around a couple of times around my card, just to give a tiny bit. This is just giving a bit of a pow factor. I remember when I first started stamping, the one thing that somebody said is always make sure you have a bit of a pow factor on your card. Whether or not if you're a simple stamper, whether or not you're just starting, or whether or not you're an avid stamper. Just make sure that you've got a pow factor to your card. All right, so I'm just going to go in and I'm going to tie a knot. Now, if I happen to not get this tight enough, I've got a trick I can show you to make it so that well, I actually did this so it wasn't too bad. I'm going to go in and give it a bit of a haircut. But if it's not tight enough, what you can do is you can go onto the back and you could put some tear and tape on there. You can tape that so that you make it so it's tighter. Now, when I go to put this on here, that's quite a stark look to it. So to me, I thought, you know, probably as a casual stamper, I would have sponges. There is a new sponge that's out there. It's the blending brushes. So I'm just going to go in, and I've got my Bermuda Bay, and I'm just going to take this. And you notice what I do is I put it there and I put it into the lid. And then I'm just going to take off some of this. It's so stark. Like I find on this particular card, it's stark. So I wanted to kind of just come in and just put a bit of color on it. I'm not making it so you can see it like that. It's more noticeable on this particular card, but I decided I wanted to make it less noticeable. Okay, so just close that up. Now, these brushes wash out beautifully. I haven't washed this one, but I use this for my blues, and it washes out just great. So now what I want to do is, this to me was going to be quite flat, so I wanted to pop it up. If anyone knows me, they know that I love to put dimensionals on things. So, and besides, another POW factor, right? Just give a bit more dimension to the card. Flat cards are okay. All right, so now I'm just going to come in. Another great tool to have is a take your pick tool. And I'm just taking off the backings off up here. All right, and let's just take one more of those off. And then let's layer this onto the front of this card. So we have that. Oops. Just want to make sure I've got that centered. And now, no matter what type of a stamper you are, you always want to embellish a little bit more. I have this embellishment here, but let's go ahead. You know, I can actually pull that down a little bit. I'm going to use these metallic pearls. They're in silver and in gold. And I'm just going to put those onto my card. Now, I always say, and you'll find you always want to do things in uneven multiples. I could do 1, I could do 2, and I'm going to do 3 because that's uneven, right? And the beauty of this is you always want to make sure that these types of embellishments are in a triangle. So I could put this here for the I for wishing you, and then that kind of gives that idea. You know, it gives that triangle. Look, it can be any type of a triangle. So there you have it. There's that one. I've got that sticking on there. And I've got this one, and I've actually sponged this one a little bit more. I'm not sure which one I like best, but I added a little bit different with the dimensional, or with the designer series paper. So I hope you like that. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have lots of variant or different levels of stamping on there. This is, like I say, for a casual stamper that doesn't have all the tools. These can be also as a beginner stamper, and also an avid stamper could use this as well. They could step it up a little bit more if that's what they chose to do. In any event, give me the thumbs up. Leave any comments that you may have. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do live in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with, I would love to be your demonstrator. I have a very generous reward program. And if you use my host code, everything is going to actually link down to a blog from this YouTube thing. It'll link to a blog that will give the measurements that I used in this card. But it'll also give you different opportunities that you can join Facebook groups where I do stamping online and everything else. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that we'll see you back soon. So have a great day. Bye for now.